cares?
Everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. Is the Quantum Panel. I have Lynn with me right now. Hey, Aussie, he just came in. Hey, Lynn.
Yeah. How you doing this week?
Busy, been super
Yeah.
busy, but I accomplished some stuff, and I'm happy about it. It isn't 100%, but
Good.
hey, don't need to be 100%. I got to 85, 90%. That's progress.
Is it your personal excellence?
Is it my personal excellence?
Yes.
Is it the best I could have done? Yes,
Yes.
for sure.
Then
It was the best I could have done.
you've reached the absolute excellence that you could reach. Perfection's
Yes.
an illusion.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfection. I'm going for repaired and serviceable. I don't need
Yeah.
perfection. I need repaired and able to be repaired again later. So
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. And I will be driving that car to work tomorrow. I don't even care.
Oh,
I'm gonna drive it to
awesome.
work
I'm
tomorrow.
glad to hear
It's
that.
it's drivable now. I'm gonna drive it now. Leaky, loud exhaust and everything. I'm gonna just drive it now. I don't even care. I might have to go the slow way, but I am gonna drive it.
Hi, Bronklander. Glad to see you. Aussie
Hey,
Tiger.
Bronklander. Yep, got 2 people watching so far in the stream. It
Hey,
says
we're
3.
getting
Tim.
somewhere. There's Tim.
Yep. Hey, Aussie and Bronklander and Tim. Welcome back to
Say
the
hi,
Quantum Show
Storm.
Quantum Panel. I'm putting everybody up on the screen. Everybody seems to be having a roundtable show tonight, today, yesterday, and tomorrow. So why not? I do a panel every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're talking about Rich's show. He's doing a roundtable discussion, and it's pretty animated over there. Dorothy's over there at the top at the moment.
Oh, I went down. She loves those kinds of things when she can get her teeth in.
Yeah, she uh she came, and I don't expect her to come here when Rich's show is on because
Oh,
that's okay. That's fine.
you know it.
That's all
There's
coupon.
nothing that says that people can't come back see a quantum show a little bit later, and obviously they do. I see a lot of people that do that. We may not get to see you here on our panel, but we think of you anyway.
Hmm. Yeah. He's quoting the song. Ned's got a Mercury gun running up and down the road. I forget who did that song. I know that song. I know of that song. And also shout out to
Oh,
GUFON.
gee.
He's going over there. He's
That
over there.
was on one of John Travolta's
I'm,
Thurman.
I'll look it
Now,
up.
oh gosh, I
No, it's
know
a.
which one is it for Storm? You know that stuff.
I'm gonna look that up real quick. Training an AI. I'm trying to train an AI too. I have replica. They forget
Sorry, Pulp Fiction.
the Mercury song.
Mercury songs and that. And they do the twist and enter that dance
Alan
contest.
Jackson.
Yeah, there you go.
Mercury Blues. I think. Let me see here. Let me go. Commercials. Hey, Renee, welcome back to the core panel.
Hi, Renee.
And can y'all hear the commercial playing in the background? I hope not.
I hear something. I don't
Here
hear
we go.
what.
Here's the song. I'm going to so get banned on YouTube now. This is an Alan Jackson song. For discussion purposes, I'm actually. That's
All
it.
publicity is good publicity, Alan. Just go
Yeah,
with
that's it.
it.
Okay, that'll get me now. Now that I'm banned on YouTube, thank you, Alan Jackson. We'll see. We'll see. I need to get on my Chat GPT and oh, you didn't hear it? Let me see here.
No, so don't fix
I don't.
that
I
because
don't think it's good.
you may be right. I don't
I'll
know.
leave a link in the description after the show for
There you
Alan
go.
Jackson. Mhm. I actually own 2 Mercuries, and that's a crazy manifestation story.
One of the best cars I ever owned was Mercury. That
um.
thing did the back roads and cruises.
Oh, this is a back road runner right here. This
Oh
thing is a
yeah.
for sure a back road runner. You don't need to go faster than 40 on a back road.
Well, I
It
don't
is
know. Mine sure made it fast.
a
I usually had to see 10, 15 clients a day.
oh,
So believe
well,
me, and they were all scattered all over the creation.
my back road experiences have all been slow because you could end up down a gully, down a creek,
Oh
or
yeah.
something. So I just
I
didn't
had
go
road
fast.
drop out from under me one day.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Not fun. Yeah, it is. They've got the nice versions. Like the Tempo is the Ford version of this car. This is a Topaz, and it's got a couple of nicer things. It's got some pretty
Yeah.
trim and got the better radio. But hey, Royal Air Force OB2 has come back. Hell, welcome
Um,
back to the Quantum
let's
Panel.
see.
And yeah, I went to that guy's. We thought he was selling cell phone stuff, and we said,
Yeah.
"Spammer, spammer! Oh my God, it's a spammer troll!" And he left. Well,
Yeah.
then remember when we went to his show?
Yeah.
We went to his thing, and he's totally quantum. I was like, "Oh my
Oh
God."
yeah.
We went to his I went to his channel, and he is totally quantum. I left messages, but I don't see him. I haven't
He's
seen him.
probably
Haven't heard
like,
from him.
oh, shove off there, buddy.
What did I well, oh my God, what door did I open? Now he's gonna start seeing ghosts and UFOs.
Oh yeah. Since once you start quantum, you know that you're going to see some interesting things in your life.
Yep.
Gonna be
And
some interesting things too because your mind is opened up.
mhm. Oh, and that's something I found this thing on Facebook, and I'm gonna just show it, right? I'm just gonna it's a meme, but it's like a positivity type of meme, right? And it's about what we do here, you know. Let me see
Uh-huh.
here. I don't need that. I'm getting there. Hold on. Yeah, I don't haven't been online too much. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to somebody just popped in. Hold on, let me get this thing set up. Hey, Joe.
Hey Joe.
Well, welcome back to the Quantum Panel. Thanks for coming by.
How is everybody?
We're
We
all
have
right.
allergies. Sounds like you've joined us.
All day long.
Oh,
Here it is.
joy.
Let me go ahead and
Symptoms of the shift. Ooh. Is that when
symptoms
the
of the
shift
shift.
hits a fan?
Yeah. Stronger sense of compassion, loss of fear, loss of polarity of judgment, easily adaptable, acceptance of light and dark, power to create reality, rapid manifestation of intention, mission to be of service to others. Oh my God, that is like my entire life right now.
Oh, I think you should use that and put it up.
I
We'll
will.
we'll
Oh
put you up for
yeah.
sainthood.
Yeah, I'm doing that, all that stuff right now. I've been doing it for years. Well, more acutely recently. Mm. Raven should show up. I won't be the only smoker here.
Don't
But
worry about it. I don't have to put up with it.
yeah, I really liked that meme when I found it. And there was
That's great.
there are some comments that they're coming way out of left field. I'll just read the comments. I'm not going to say who said it, right? Also, acceptance of others and how they choose to express their sexuality. Boom, right to the right to that.
Yeah.
And it says Let's see. What shift? Let's do this. Generally positive, but
And usually, if you can do that, you can accept other people's differences as well.
hmm
And there's plenty of them. I mean, uh, Storm and I were out on a shopping trip, and unfortunately, I can't hoof it anymore. And it got a little handy cart and that. And you'd be amazed how many people would just dart in front of you and
yeah,
that they don't see you. They honestly don't see the handicap.
They don't see me.
They don't see Joe.
this
Six
I
was
foot,
don't
a
think they see anything except what's going on and behind their eyes.
yeah, 6'3",
That
300 pounds, and they're blind.
yeah. I
yeah,
was gonna post up a comment, but it took up 2 slots, so I'm not gonna do that. But whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
people are so wrapped up in their own stuff that
Well,
they don't.
if I rammed him with the cart, I suppose that'd wake him up pretty fast.
Yep. Oh, and
No, they rammed me with one instead.
Oh yeah.
wow, what?
And of the two of us, you're the one who's more likely to react. Although that's not a given.
React,
Respond?
follow through on training.
Yeah. There isn't any thought process to that anymore. I know what you mean. It's straight in.
Right. Well, I go with the Buddhist, and I decide to take an action,
Yeah.
but I got to think about it first, and that's the slow part.
I'm
I
talking
don't
about what happens with my body when it happens. I don't have to do anything. I don't
Yeah,
have to think.
I learned that in the most mild way. I learned that, and yeah, your body just like I went to go pat you on the shoulder, not remembering which was your bad shoulder, and you just went. You went. You blocked.
just
I didn't mean
don't.
to. I didn't mean to, but you successfully blocked it. But it wasn't exactly an attack or anything. So I
Well, we've
remember that
had a
happening.
few folks where they're being congenial and friendly and go to pat, or even a couple of them gone to cuff him playfully. That's not a smart idea.
Or the cat that stared at me at night.
Well, we work really hard on this, and we do for a reason, because we can usually figure out, and I say we, he and I, you too, Nathan, if somebody is approaching us with harm in mind. We can
Oh
feel
yeah,
that.
I can feel that. I can feel,
Most people
and
don't.
yeah, I kind of like when I'm sober, when I'm totally sober. I'm mostly sober all the time, but yesterday at the Legion, I had I was like 3 beers in, I think, but I spread it out, right? I don't get drunk, and this guy got past me, and I didn't realize what was going on, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well, I gave you a pause for thought. Maybe you should stay with 2 beers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here. What was I looking at? Oh yeah, I wanted to.
It's interesting though. Years ago, I had gone to a bar with Storm, and given some of my experiences over life, I've had a bit of hypervigilance, if you will, and that doesn't turn off and on. It's there all the time. And fella came in a long coat, a duster they call them, and that duster moved funny. And I reached over to Storm and I said, "Time for us to go now." And he saw them too, and he says, "You're absolutely right." And we hooked our girlfriend, who says, "But I'm not finished." "Oh, yes, you are." you know. And we walked out of the bar. he had robbery on his mind,
Mm.
and nice sawed-off shotgun underneath that thing. And on the way out, we just kind of let the bouncer know he just left a gun in the place. We were walking out, but that it's it's a blend between hypervigilance and can almost smell them psychically coming in because it's such a dump with somebody who wants to create that mess.
Yep. I get an empathic ping, and it's like I know something's up, and something causes. Now I have my automatics too, my training. I have that too. So it's like when something comes in my AO, I am all the noise in my head stops, and I'm like listening and watching and all this stuff. And now I'm in
Target lock.
right defense mode, and oh, OB2 is saying I get chills going up and down my spine when dangerous people are around. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that is your spidey sense, for lack of a better term.
Hyper
So,
village. My
hypervigilant.
tongue, yeah, hyper vigilance. My tongue doesn't want to work tonight.
Hmm. Oh yeah, and
Oh yeah.
Brooklander saying my dog immediately knows I pick up on it as well, but doggo there's she gets it to automatically go into de-escalation mode. I need to practice that part, de-escalation. That thing with the food today is a small version of what happened, of what goes
Oh
on.
yeah.
Because I could have gotten upset. He expected me to get upset. He almost wanted to give me a reason to get upset, but
Oh
he
yeah.
didn't.
But that's
I'm
that kind.
I'm in control. I am in control of at least me, and I wasn't going to cause no problems because he looked like he had enough problems without me, right? So he made a mistake. Oh well, I mean, I make
What are
mistakes.
you gonna do?
Yeah. What good would it do? It wouldn't serve any purpose to get upset and pissed off about stuff.
Well,
So I don't.
we had been in a large box store that has a fairly decent way of dealing with people, really. And but the greeter had been a thoroughly unpleasant person, not just a little bit unpleasant, thoroughly unpleasant.
Mm.
She caused me a lot of trouble there, and I don't know what her major malfunction was, and it doesn't especially matter. But as I was going out, the manager came up to me and his hail fellow well met, and he goes, "How is your so and so experience today?" And I said, "Sucked." He goes, "What?" I said, "Your greeter made sure that I was distressed coming in the door." I told him what she did. She
Hmm.
had she had insisted that I stand in the rain, waiting for the time to open up. Okay, fine, that's fine. But she was thoroughly unpleasant, and by then I had gotten soaked to the skin and was chilled. And that's not a good thing with me.
Mm-mm.
And anyhow, he started offering me a gift card, and I said, "I really don't want your gift card. I want you to fix your problem." you know. And he kept upping the ante, and I'm like, finally, I said he'd offered me $1,000, and finally I looked at him. I said, "Sonny," I said, "my integrity is not for sale. You have a problem. Simply fix it." I said, "I'm sure a short training would settle that matter real fine." I said, "You're very good at it." And, you know, And there were people behind me getting angry, not because I was standing there talking to the manager, but that she had done them that way too.
Mm.
So he's got to see just what kind of an impact this gal had made. But in the end, I told him, I said, I'm not for sale. Don't try to buy me. It's not going to work for you. You know,
Yeah.
but and I was not unpleasant with him. Not a bit unpleasant. Didn't need to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you may have shown him how to figure out the problem, how to identify a problem, because that sounds like that's what they trained him to do was
Oh yeah.
buy it off, buy the person off, not actually fix
Well,
the problem.
yeah, and that seems to be an ongoing trend recently where just buy off the buy off the aggravation. I'm not a Karen
Yeah.
and I'm not bought. If I have a real problem, it's a real one.
Well, Isabella is my suggested way of alleviating the hypervigilance. Yeah, vigilance.
Mm.
You know,
Vis-
she
Vigilance.
yeah, vigilance, hypervigilance. She she will come up and tap the back of my legs and say, "Slow down, big fella, slow down."
Yeah. I've seen her in action. She's good.
Oh yeah. Well, when somebody's actually attacked one of us, there was no need for me to react.
That was great. That was when she was still a pretty young
Training.
little girl.
Yeah, she was training with
Mhm.
patches.
Yeah.
Mm. Joe, who was that that went with you in Wendy's that day? And she started barking, and I was like, "Okay, everybody, stay calm." Little dog, right? I was like, "Okay, everybody, stay calm."
Susie.
That's Susie.
Okay, yeah,
That
she
was
started
Susie.
barking, and I stood up. I says, "Everybody, stay calm." And they got it. I'm a joke. I was just joking. Everybody knew, like, it was a calm situation. It was funny. I thought it was they
She
thought
decided something wasn't cool.
Yeah, she decided something wasn't cool, and so the big guy was going, "Okay, what should I kill?" And Nathan's going over there, stay calm. Going, my dog is
nobody panic.
alerting, and I'm not going to say.
Like, nobody panic.
Stay out of the
Don't
big guy's
move
way.
suddenly.
Don't move suddenly.
That was
you know,
hilarious that day.
Joseph, we were talking about something before the show, and we were both like, "Oh, we have to get Joe to tell that story."
Yeah.
And it was about blessing food or not allowing someone to cook for us that was angry with us.
Yeah.
That was when I was going to school at Sul Ross. I decided to go up to Fort Davis, and I was hoofing it. It's a long way, but I was hoofing it. And the end of the day came along, and there was a restaurant on the way, and I decided
Good.
to stop in there and get something to eat. And the cook was yelling at everybody, and just I had the I ate my I had a steak there. I had and no sooner did he get out of the restaurant, my stomach just started growling and cramping up. And this is oh great! I can forget her name. She lived in
The
a weird
lady.
little house, and she lived in a weird little house down in Alpine, which is she's up in Fort Davis with me. And she looks at me and says, "Here, take some of this grass." Well, I pulled some of the grass off the side of the road and chewed on it a little bit. And my stomach started to settle down. And she goes, "Never eat when the cook is angry."
Hmm.
Almost
Yeah.
100%. When somebody's angry, you can almost bet you that people that ate their food ill right after.
Yep. Those vibes
Oh,
get into the food. That's the whole thing about blessing food is to make it
Oh,
better. That's the whole deal about it, right?
mm-hmm.
It has been lost in
uh,
translation throughout history of uh I'm going with, the Christian faith because they give thanks for the food they have, and you know the deal, you know what they do, uh and they always talk about it, but it comes from the making of the food. That's why I always smile and have a happy thought when I'm making coffee because it's a healing potion every time.
well,
And
smile and give it a blessing.
yeah, every
We
time.
can
Or a
bless our
blasting.
own things. Well, don't bless you. You make yourself sick. But we're perfectly, when I make food or used to, we'd bless the food and ask for it to taste especially good. And a storm does the same thing now.
Me
Yeah.
too. And I
Now,
don't like.
I know people that try to get rid of negativity with negativity, and it works for a while.
Well, yeah, there's intention involved in there, right? And it works, like you said, it works for a while, but I've never had it not backfire on me, you know? Like, Joe, here's a funny little story. I was in Germany and we got sent to the field, and there were a handful of pagans in my unit, and one of them was a it was the American version of the I can't remember the Druid, American version of the Druid faith, right? And she goes, "Hey, Alan, I want it to be windy out here." Now, this is Europe, okay? This was Europe. This was not my AO. This was Europe. This was not El Paso. This is not Tennessee. Totally different, right? And I go, "Okay." So my intention was make it windy. She's like, "I want this entire camp to be blown over." Just to inconvenience everybody, right? So what I did was I angrily, well, not angrily, but I took a rope and I very forcefully bound the wind and threw it in the field that we were going to be in. Well, it was the calmest night ever. The whole time it was super calm. And I was like, well, there's the sarcasm. There's the sarcasm right there because the elements were listening. Says, "Oh, Druid and little Wicca wants to do this that way. We'll just go somewhere else this
Right.
time." And and I was like, "So," and she came up to me afterwards like, "Alan, I thought I asked you to do that." I'm like, "I did. I tried to, but see." And I explained to her, and she goes,
Yeah, but
"Whatever."
altering weather patterns can also have unforeseen and potential harmful consequences.
Oh boy, can they.
You've got the farmers around and everybody else like that. So your incantation was going against their incantation,
Mhm.
and you've got to consider the potential impacts on humans and the environment when you do something like that. It
Yeah.
reminds me of the time when I was on the road and some guy drove up and did a brake check on me. And, the first time I just thought, oh, this is a weirdo, just back off. And he comes back around and does it again. Then he does it
Mhm.
the third time. And it's the third time I'm going, may karma catch up with you now. Well, he takes off and goes down the road. Now, as you're going up towards Van Horn, the hills go up and down. So
Yeah.
his tail lights, as he started going away, they got smaller, and then they would disappear, and then they'd come back again. They disappear, and a little while later, I was seeing headlights. He had he did a brake check on somebody. His front U joint busted as he was doing the brake check, and it was just a simple pole coming off. Then his car was hitting the pole and just went right over it.
Oh,
Dang. He pole
So
vaulted.
yeah, he pole vaulted backwards.
Yikes. Okay. Yeah.
oh,
Well, you know what? His karma went back to him.
You know,
You didn't curse him or anything. You said you get what you get. So
yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes that works very well, huh, Joe?
yeah, well, that was too well.
Yeah, well the
I could
universe
Well,
we're the
sometimes
random
though it's right in. I'm sorry.
we're the random numbers. We're the ones that when you got involved, his numbers were already in play. This is my leap of faith here, right? His numbers were already in play. You just had his people come by and says, "You know what? We need to write this in. He's right. Let's write this in there right now." And he had it coming. That's my leap of faith right there. We're the random numbers. So that happened to him. His karma was already starting to catch up to him, but you were like, "Hey, how about you do this?" And they're like, "I agree. Stamp of approval, quantum approval. Go for it."
Yeah.
That's how I'm
And
looking at it.
really, that is how it works quite often, you know. And of course, you need to watch your words very, very carefully.
Yeah. Be careful what you wish for.
If, sometimes, if you speak it out, that's all it's waiting on. You know.
hmm
It
And
can be
we, being the
subverbal
random
too.
numbers, yeah, and the manifestors of most groups, that
You
stuff's going to
know,
come to pass like right now.
I am losing sound from you, Nathan.
From me,
Yes,
I'm hearing perfectly.
maybe
check
it's
your
me.
plugs.
Just
Check your
give me a
plugs.
second. Say something, please.
Check
Something,
your
please.
plugs. Check your
Okay.
plugs.
Yep, that's the problem. Right there.
Yep. Okay, cool. Oh,
Okay.
speaking of bad connections, the Mercury had a problem with draining batteries, like a parasitical
No,
drain,
we
right?
haven't.
Now, and well, this was when it was at the mechanic, right? He goes, it keeps losing the battery, and now it's got a dead battery. And I had to bring him a battery. It's got a brand new battery in it, right? And he goes, it's got some kind of a constant drain somewhere. I'm like, check the starter stuff. Check out, because he had to take the start for some reason. Here's a starter. Here's the part that he was working on. For some reason, he had to take this off. I don't know. So I was like, just reconnect. He took it off
Uh-uh.
and tested it, and I'm like, I don't know who he had working on this thing. I'm never going back, but it has no parasitical drain. It was a bad starter connection. It's fine. It's fine.
Was it bad or was it just not reconnected?
It was not reconnected correctly. He had
Mm-hmm.
connected something wrong. I didn't look at him. I wasn't standing over his shoulder while he was doing it, because that's the best way to get your shit broken. And so I just was like, you know what? Here's the report. Here's what I'm going to tell you what happened. And he was like, not my problem. And I'm like, yeah. And he wasn't being communicative. But anyway, the battery is fine. There is no parasitical drain. There's no short anymore. I was like, just make sure it's all hooked up correctly. Check your wires. He comes back to me. He says, yeah, it was a bad ground. I'm like, it's always a bad ground, dude. And the funny thing was, the whole time he was working on the car, I was getting pings from somewhere to tell him what was wrong with the car out of nowhere. And I was right. I was right on them. I'm like, check your ground, check your connections. That was exactly what the problem was. He would tell me something happened. I'm like, check this, check that. Oh, it was this. And it was exactly what you said it was. I'm like, this sounds like I'm setting you up, but I'm not. I'm just having this stuff come to me and telling you what I'm having a feeling to tell you. Yeah. And
This is what you expect once you plug into the universe.
it's crazy. I love it. I love it. But it's not what I expected, And a lot of the stuff now that I'm hands on with it, a lot of it is, hey, you, Nathan, don't be lazy. Just do it. Just do it. Why do you own the hacksaw if you're not going to use it? I grabbed the hacksaw and I went to town on it and I fixed it. And that's how the exhaust got put on.
I knew you'd do it. Just get mad
I'm
at it and doing it.
yeah, I got one more thing I got to do. I got to plug up the EGR stuff because it doesn't even matter anymore. I got to plug it up and isolate it and call it a day. Put sticks in the hoses. Be done with it.
It's interesting. I've been following Keith Andrews. Uh, I don't even know stream trend.
Yeah.
And he's been visiting. Straighten up your space, straighten up your head, and that's really it's very quantum, extremely so.
Yeah.
It oh yeah, it is. Because once you straighten up your head and start getting yourself flying, not very much is in your way. Because not your distraction level is getting calmed down because you don't have a pile of dishes waiting on you
Mm-hmm.
or a vacuuming job that hasn't been done in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets like that sometimes, particularly if you're very busy. So and getting yourself plugged in to universe is uh very much about getting your head right and your circumstances right so you can accept the suggestions and direction that the universe sends your way.
Yeah, and I would like to throw in on that saying as much as comes in and starts to make sense, I've noticed that people start to be repelled as well. I've had people be repelled from me. Like when I started doing all this and saying and owning it and said, "Come on, bring it on. I can handle it." And it did. All these people started not being able to stand me. I didn't even, and these are people I would barely talk to. They just couldn't stand to be around me. I'm like, you're not supposed to be with me. You're not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be around me. I mean, people who are repelled by me. And I'm not talking good people. I'm talking the people, the manipulators, the people who want to take advantage. They can't stand to be around me. The bad people, the people who give you the bad vibes anyway. Those
Yeah,
people
the
start
users and the rest of it. Yeah,
right.
a lot of that sort of thing falls away entirely, or they're with you for a certain length of time because they think they can get something from you. They can steal it. And I know you have to work for this one yourself.
Hmm.
And once they realize that they can't take it, that it's something they have to work for, they go away pretty quick.
Yeah, I've had people say, "I can't deal with you. I can't deal with you," and they just go away. They just disappear out of my life forever.
I don't have a lot of people that hang here. I used to have quite a few, not anymore. And I every person that fell away can't handle what we got,
Yep.
and I'm not willing to give it up.
Yeah. Bronk is in the chat saying, "I have that effect on manipulators too. Takes about 3 minutes, and they're having a total meltdown and leaving." Yep. Yep,
Yeah,
they do that. They
a
cannot
lot of
stand to
that.
be around you. They can't stand to be around me either. They see that I am the way I am, whatever that way is, and they're like, "Ah, I can't deal with this," and take off. They don't even want nothing to do with me.
I can nail one particular thing about it. We all insist on personal responsibility. And
Yeah.
that's been a real big challenge here recently.
Mhm. Yeah, and that woman at the bar last night was trying to reel me into her personal drama. I also got boundaries, and she ain't getting through them. No one's getting through them. She was I don't know what I see her all the time. I don't know what her deal was last night in particular. Maybe it was the moon. I don't know. Maybe she felt emboldened by the bright moon.
I
But
beg your pardon.
I don't know. But she
Don't look at my last names when I'm teasing
I
you,
know,
though.
not you. Hey, Samantha, welcome back to the Quantum Show
Oh, it's
panel.
good to see you, Samantha.
Have you,
Good to see
Samantha,
all of you, really.
have you checked in on Rich's show? Because I can't while I'm on, else it'll just mess up my. Is he still going with the round table, or is it over with?
We,
Just
we
put
need
in
to
the
get you a tablet.
get me a tablet.
Right.
I've got a tablet. It is horrible. I've got it. It's right here, and it is the worst thing ever because it's not the tablet, it's the connection I'm on. Yeah, I've got this thing.
Once you start stacking the connection, you're really looking for drain.
Yeah, and it just it yeah, I've got it works. I was using this for the show because it's got a decent camera on it. It's about on par with my Android, but it's an iPad and it's a iPad 5 mini is what it is. And it doesn't look mini to me, but then I look at the iPad, it's like half a laptop. But it stomps the connection and it takes this low res video and puts it through a high res thing and it's yeah. And then
All
the
hell breaks loose.
chokes on it. The connection chokes on it. Okay, Samantha's saying it just finished. I'll have to go look.
Okay, well, we
I did
probably have
stop.
a little.
Yeah, and so I leave. I was doing the. If you look at some of my first shows, I was doing that on the tablet, headphones and everything.
Mhm.
Right? It was not. It was very low quality. Then I was like, well, let's just use the phone. And it stayed that same quality, except now I was on a dedicated cell connection because the Wi Fi did not like it. And it was still all the graininess. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to hardwire down to the router, you get a webcam, and here we are. Why do you
Yeah,
say
your signal's good.
I like? It seems to be pretty good. I mean, lately, ever since I started this rig with the headphones, um, thank you, by the way. Thank you. These are
It was
courtesy of
our pleasure.
Lynn Moon, and they seem to work pretty good. The microphone is not as great quality as the Quantum mic, but hey,
Uh-huh.
no feedback, so I'm okay with it. Everybody can hear
Storm.
me.
I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, we have someone saying hello, and I want to see if they
Oh,
are
Samantha the
legit.
cat.
That we have a new person in the chat room. Oh, you felt okay. Thanks, Aussie. Yeah. I like Rich and all his work, but a lot of his stuff is too negative for me to hang around. So I end up not going to a show. Love you, Rich. I know you might not hear this, but you might. But a lot of your stuff is a little too negative for me to be hanging around because it drags me down, bro. And I don't know. I feel fragile as it is because I can go full dark side in a minute. So, a storm. Are we good with our new person in here? They legit or are they not legit? Do you know yet?
Hang in there.
I was expecting Raven to come by because I got news.
Okay, the
Go ahead.
last time the
Go
last
ahead.
time that individual was in here
Yes.
was during the Miami Aliens show,
Okay.
and it was not entirely yeah. Got two headphones going on in my head at the same time. Sorry about that. Yeah, he was down here in the alien show, and due to some of his statements, he was asked to leave.
Okay. Well, for now, until another statement comes up, welcome back to the Quantum Show, Tomato. Thanks for coming by. So, anyway, yeah, I like the topics too. Talking about Rich's show, right? That's why I don't spend my time there either. But I like the topics. I wish he did shorts clips. That's something here's something I wanted to bring up to you guys here on the panel, right? You hear me talking, and I hear me talking, not just here, but everywhere, right? And something will happen, and I will go into a story. Something happened in the army, in the game shop, or whatever. Why not tell those on here? Why not tell those on here and let it be a standalone video? What do y'all think?
I think you could do it. You'd have to keep it within a certain amount of time with the short, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm
sure, why
thinking
not?
like a 5-minute thing, not a TikTok, right? Not a
Okay,
reel,
not
right?
short.
Not short like that, but short like 5 minutes or so. Because I
Oh,
can tell you the story about street dog and squirrel sandwiches in Germany in 5 minutes, and I could tell you about different aspects of yeah, that was a story. That was a story. That should be a short right there. The street dog and squirrel burgers in Germany. It was not that. It was just the grossest food I've ever had, and my shoes were blown out. And it was a stand-up restaurant. It was the most horrible. Oh my god! And the girl in Moringen, and the woman on the train who didn't know how to put on makeup, and how we almost got killed over her.
oh Lord. Well,
Yeah,
you put
so many.
48 hours into 24, don't you?
Yeah, so many little stories that happen along the way. Not and they're not big. They're not big world changing things. They're just funny things that have side quest stuff. And yeah, oh thanks, Bronk. 10-minute max, 5 minutes. Right, easy to get through. Right, easy
What
to
do you
get through.
think? What do you think about that, Joe?
Well, a lot of other people are doing it, and it seems to help out their channel. Just make sure that you put a bridge to your channel there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Every description will have. Well, if you click on one link, you get them all. So, like, if you come over to, and it won't be like a TikTok where you have to look it up. It'll be right there, just like this video. It'll be right there. Scroll down, all the links. So yeah, okay. I'll see if I can figure out how to make that work, because I never know when a story is going to come up, and I could be in a restaurant, I could be waiting in line somewhere, and I'll have a story come in my head. I want to tell it. There's nobody there, but I got my phone, so I'll do it like that.
Well, there's
Maybe.
a lot of that. And it's actually, I think it's helpful to channel, but I also think it's enjoyable to our audience.
Yeah, and Rich actually did this too. He started doing shorts, and it's helping. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I got a button down here, and I was like messing with it, like, stop it. But Rich started doing shorts, and it was him in his car. Hey, Goofonians, and it was talking about just what he was talking about that day, and he was doing like one or two a day, and he gets a lot of hits that way. And like my shorts on the trunk repair from a few weeks ago, 2,000 views. on
Yeah,
the
but you know
rusty tire.
that leads them to this show, you
Yeah,
know. And if they belong here, they'll know pretty quick, and if they don't, well, they don't.
yeah. Um. So I'm gonna do that, and it's not gonna be like a TikTok format. It's gonna be like a 5 minute, maybe even 2 minutes, however long the story takes. Hey, everybody, I, I just thing came in my head. I got to tell you about it. Look at this field of grass, or look at this tree, or look at this broke down car, whatever. There's a story about all of them. So that comes from having a lot of experience and having a lot of stuff happen when you're there and being aware of it. That reminds me of the lady at work who didn't realize what she was seeing. She related to me as she saw it. And I was like, that was a harvest. That was a UFO. Where you been? How do you end up in these situations and not notice that that's a ghost? That's an alien. you know? Yeah, that lady, she was I will let me go ahead and tell this one. This is cool. This is cool. And I still want to go over. I was kind of waiting for Raven if she was going to show up. But um I was at work with this lady just a couple of years ago now, maybe a year ago, a little more. And she was telling me about how she used to work at an abortion clinic in the 80s. That was a that was a crazy time, okay?
Oh
In
yeah, it was.
in Michigan. And this there was these doctors, and none of them did it full time. They believed in the cause. And so they would do it part time, and nobody had an office. They had just a space on a table, and they would clear out every time they would go. And there was this one doctor, they called him the butcher. And I was like, "Oh yeah, tell me about it." The day I got fired from my job, and the day before. Like, "Okay, yeah, tell me." Said she was in there, and she went in, and there was this girl that came in for a procedure. He came in to do just that procedure. And he had this is one of the okay, uh face obscuring mask, your splash guard, right? And full full surgical getup. You can only see this part of his skin, and it was white, and he was like really light, super light white blonde hair, like platinum blonde, real bright light hair. And he never spoke, never said anything to anybody. And he went in, and he did the procedure, and he was really rough on the girl. And I'm gonna skip the gruesome details, right? But
Please.
yeah, and he went, and the remains are in a jar, okay? And they go to one of two places. They go to lab for whatever reason, or disposal. And I mean, this is abortion in the 80s, okay?
Right.
So one day she came in, she's holding the girl's hand. Her job as a nurse tech, or it was to help the person get ready for the procedure and then help get them out from the procedure. Cleaned up, washed up, dressed up, whatever, right? Sign
Yeah.
here, done. Okay. Well, she did that for this one lady, and she came in, had the procedure. He was really rough, and he's really rough on all the girls. That's why they called him the butcher. And I asked her pointedly, "Would you say he treated them like animals or less than human?" She goes, "Yeah, yeah, I would say that." I'm like, "Okay, go ahead, continue." And on that procedure, he took it. He was going to go to disposal, but he cradled it in an arm and left, took it off with him, took it with him. Didn't go to the lab, didn't sign it out, didn't do anything. And I'm like, I don't care what kind of timing or procedure there is, that is a bad procedure. And she goes, "Yeah, well, I continued. I was doing my job." And she got a call before she left the next day. "You're fired." And I'm like, okay, why? No reason given, no chance for rehire. You're fired, you're gone, you're done. I'm like, really? and she couldn't remember anything about that dude. I'm like, do you think it had something to do with you seeing him take out that jar?
Most certainly.
Yeah, I was like, and what she described to me was not an abortion. It was a harvest. It was an abduction. It was a gathering of material or a being, because that's illegal. Okay, you cannot do that. That is illegal. It's always been illegal. It's illegal. It's illegal. It's
Yeah.
illegal. You can't do that. And I don't care. Hospital in the
I
80s.
can kind of understand the gowning up and the rest of it, because at that time they were just beginning to realize they had an HIV pandemic and were trying to
Right.
keep a lid on it.
Right, but nobody else did that. He was the only one who always, you couldn't see any skin except for that. And what you could see was paper white with platinum blonde. Now, I cross-reference that with a couple other cases. There are 2 doctors in El Paso that fit that bill. One of them doesn't exist, and one of them has just recently gotten a backstory. One of them is Dr. I can never. Oh, it was Maria's deal, right? Dr. Godsend. That's what it was. Dr. Godsend. Show up at 3 o'clock in the morning and nobody knew who he was. No, excuse me. No one knew why she would be asking. It was silly for her to ask. I'm too busy to deal with you. Go away. He was an alien. The guy was an alien. And the Dr. Caesar was an alien. They're all aliens. They were in Michigan. They're in El Paso right now. Every time I go to the VA, I look for someone who looks so out of place. I filter and focus, and I'm like X-raying these people with my mind, and I'm like, where are these people at? They're not here. If they're here, they're beyond my scanning abilities. But these people described the same person, and I'm pretty sure it's the hybridization program. And I don't know what.
We have a question, and
Oh.
I believe it's worth answering.
Okay, would aliens be for or against abortion? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not.
Plus, you're
Okay,
not
y'all.
talking about one race.
Right.
No.
We have. If you will look at. Okay. You know what? Hold up. I got a book to bring up. This is a Keith Andrews topic right here. Plug for Keith.
There we go.
Okay.
I kind of hoped you'd bring that
Now,
out. There's all sorts
tomato.
of thought process.
We have. Yeah. I'm waiting for the version 2 to come out. And I'm going to actually get with him on version 2 point whatever, right? And there are aliens. Too many of them with too many types of morality, too many sets of ethics. They have everybody has different reasons for doing different things. And I like, are you talking about let's just go through the book. Are you talking about the Anunnaki? They would be for it, because according to everything that now I'm going on my own reading, not just this, right? The Anunnaki, they would be for abortion because they are for controlled breeding. They want people to be the way they are based on everything that we can read about them, right? Now, some of these other ones, Archon, right? I think they wouldn't be, because these guys are tiny, they're survival driven. I think they would want to be as populous as possible. Okay, let's see. Let's just randomly pick one. Okay, here we go.
Triangle.
The Greys. Okay, now who are these guys? Now we don't have. See, your question is very in depth, and we're not going over the morality for other species of abortion on the Quantum Show. We're just not going to do it.
Let me interject something here.
Yeah.
Nana was pregnant, and she heard about a war where some of her women were being killed,
Mm-hmm.
We're
He
pretty suspicious.
self-aborted.
Say that again, Joe.
She self-aborted. She
You're
took
gonna
a
have to
knife to
explain that out.
herself. She took a knife to herself and aborted the fetus.
Okay.
And then she went to war.
She would have been an Anunnaki in that mythos. Okay. If I'm not saying that's what she was, but she would have been an Anunnaki. So yes, they do. Given the circumstances, the Greys, right now,
And there you have it. It was circumstance driven.
right, circumstance driven. And here, the Greys. Now, 3 to 4 foot high, the Greys that we all see in, right, those guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
they seem to be the ones that people see the most of, or at least
right.
have some yeah,
Well,
blah.
there's
No, I
more
gotta
than
do it.
there's
What?
more than one. There's more than one gray,
Yeah,
and even like one set of grays has a caste system of 5 different levels. So the
So
answer
can't
would be
answer it.
different in each level.
Right, can't answer it.
it would
Okay,
be
let's.
like asking, are humans for or against it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
You know?
depends on the
you have to
culture.
go by all the countries. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even and the people within them, because that opinion is as varied as individuals.
Yeah. So can't answer that question, Tomato. Not for the Quantum Show. And if anyone would like to summon these guys and have them come on, they can talk about it from their perspective. Hey, I say it like that and it sounds sarcastic and funny, but you know what? The anomalies have shown up. So
Yeah.
if I get someone in here and they say I'm an alien, I'll entertain it until they come up to be a troll or an alien. So I can't answer that question, Tomato. Thank you for asking, though. That it got me animated, got me thinking about a bunch of different stuff. So, um, yeah. And Bronk is answering up there. I don't think the majority of alien species see abortion the same way people do. Thank you. Very correct. And
Oh.
we see it 100 different ways. They've got to see it 100 more different ways, like power magnitude. The on a whole nother like decimal point of freaking perspectives. Okay. So I can't answer.
Extremely different.
Yeah, that's what we got. Okay, got oh, okay, Joe. All good. Are you okay? I got your message. He's not okay. He's got to go. Joe, thanks for coming by the Quantum Show. See, the anomalies show up. Joe's going to go take care of it. And now it's me and you, Lynn. And it looks like
Yeah,
Raven's not
I'm
showing
cool
up.
with it.
Okay.
We still have a good bit of time left, and
Mm.
you've been badgering me about my experience.
Yeah, well, okay. I don't have any hold music or anything, so I gotta be right back. It's been an hour. I'll be right back. Watch for
It's all
ghosts.
good. So we have, for those who are kind of new to our channel, we tend to watch for ghosts while he's out because they tend to show up. We've seen them, and it's been a kind of an interesting thing. So anyhow, yeah, I hope that Joe's all right too. He suffering allergies like the rest of us right now. That with what we've been talking about, you know, I've talked to many people who've had to go through that experience with abortion, and every one of them has a different reason. There's no pat one. I'm just reading Tomato's comment. Well, it's an interesting idea. One of the people that you might want to listen to, as long as you're respectful with him, is Keith Andrews. He has extensive experience on aliens and what kind of aliens are available. Blah, blah. I can't talk either. Available. He has several books on them. One of those was what Nathan just showed. He has another one coming out, which is basically races of the. Oh, gee, and I just took that away from the table here. But races of aliens and how many different kinds there are, because there's a lot of them. And there are some that do that, rely on instinct. I don't know. If they're able to get out and about and to another planet, are they truly without thought? I think that might bear listening to and considering. Thank you, Bronklander. Yes, Races of the World. And it is a good book. It's set up rather like an index or a glossary. And you can go through that thing, and if you happen to have met an alien or been in contact with one, it'll give you a fairly decent idea of which one it was. And as I said, Keith Andrews is an extremely good author about these things and also a good speaker. He has a stream on every evening except Tuesday and Wednesday at 5:30. Well, it's 5:30 my time. I think it's 4:30 his. But it is quite good. You can look him up and be notified about his stuff. You can listen to it. He has it archived, most of it. He comes on this show quite regularly, and he's very respected here. Brocklander, have you stopped into one of Keith's streams? Too much dead air, guys. I was on radio too long to listen to dead air. Tornadoes, huh? Be safe out there, Aussie. Take care of yourself and your folks. Let us know you're okay, okay? I think Nathan's coffee got to him. You know, a lot of that stuff. Very fussy about that. I think you're right, Bronklander. He does use different descriptions and names for different alien species. And I believe he tries to get to the ones that are most like their own language. I think a lot of people do castrated tomato. I think a lot of people tend to think that they are similar to the ones on Alien or the aliens and that franchise. But one thing we really got to be careful of is to view them with a decent open mind, because movies are not real. They're not based on real stuff. They are somebody's imagination most of the time. Not always, most of the time. What's your take on that there, we're having kind of a discussion here from the chat room.
I'm hearing, and I'm trying to see what is okay.
Yeah,
Looking at
uh,
going
Bron
back.
Planter and
Tomato.
Tomato have brought some things to the table here.
Okay, let me go back and look. Hey Joe, if you reread this, hope you're okay. Going back. Okay. To me. Okay. Hey Joe, if you read this, yeah. 10 minutes of this convo remind me of X Files of Dana and Dana Scully. Okay.
Yeah,
The last
that's
10 minutes of this conversation remind me of the X Files and Dana Scully. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bronklander. I would say that your relationship with one person is not going to affect Keith's opinion of you in the least. He makes his own mind up.
I missed that. Okay, let me just go back up and see what.
It's a little bit up in the chat. It's been an interesting thought, though.
Okay, and I'm reading now. Tomato saying, I'm going back. This is a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
6 minutes ago. Let me catch up to the conversation. My show. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious
You left me unsupervised.
what kind of aliens exist. I prefer and am more interested in the animalistic ones rather than the intelligent ones. Okay, yeah. There are plenty of those that have been really more or less documented. There's the ones that there's one living in Gatlinburg, an Owara, and my buddy thinks it's a Bigfoot. People say it's a rogue cow. It's in the city. There's no cows in the city, right? And there's traces of it, and he's finding footprints. It's an animalistic one. They're not like tech using things. And they're not nice. So yeah, get his book. Get his book. Get the book. Get the book. There's plenty of animalistic ones in there. You will the Aurora. It's even in here. Let me see.
Hey, Storm, can you plug the Keith's buy me a coffee shop?
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah, please.
I don't have that stuff here handy. Okay,
He'll put that up for you.
Owara. Now, the version with pictures is coming, but get both versions, right? Okay, physical description. Now, these are Keith's descriptions, right? White, red, brown, black, different colors of them. 5 to 6 feet in height, so not super tall, but built. And he has here hairsuit, so it appears to be like a Bigfoot. Primarily vegetarian. Primarily reproduction. Human designation simian. Okay, now keep in mind these are the ones that he has experience with, right? And it's going through Keith. So imagine Keith as the human filter going through it. He says simian ape, but you're not going to find this critter in National Geographic, okay? Even though he's using the terms simian and ape, and he's writing it like a character sheet. Government, a matriarchal hierarchy. So it's you know matriarchal hierarchy. Clan nature, live in close proximity to other clans, family groups, right? Might is right mentality. They don't use a lot of technology. They beat up very very ape, very much like an ape, but more like a Bigfoot. Looks like a Bigfoot. Belief in one higher entity, and he needs to extrapolate this because there's been discussion, and he needs to draw this out some more. I hope he does. I hope he draws this out some more because you've got our discussion has been a lot more than this page, right?
Oh yeah.
When I brought it up because I think I did a show way out there, and oh man, I'm missing all the chat. Okay, and R. Keith Andrews buy me a coffee is Inner Voice J. Is that the whole thing?
Yes.
Inner Voice J? Okay.
Yes.
buymeacoffee.com.
that's
Inner
the
voice
shop.
Jay. Please go drop him a donation. Worth it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the shop is in there as well. All of his books and resources are there. He's got a free newsletter, and it is absolutely free. He won't ask you for a penny for it.
Right.
And
And
let me think. Oh yeah, of course he's a amazing reader, and his consultations are also available.
hey, Tomato, did you like the movie The No, I can't think of it. The Abyss. Did you like
Ooh,
the movie
that's a rough
The
one.
Abyss? I loved it. Loved it. So
I don't know if I did. I had nightmares over that for several weeks. No, I
I
truly did. It really struck a chord in me.
No, that was Event Horizon.
I'm sorry, Event Horizons
yeah,
was
Event Horizon is a crazy one. That is a
yeah,
crazy.
that absolutely
Yeah,
creeped me out.
they go hand in hand though.
Yeah,
But
it
Event
did.
Horizon was the scary horror sci-fi. But The Abyss, not so much. The Abyss wasn't so scary. It was scary for them. You could identify with the people. It was underwater, right? It was underwater.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to
I think that's claustrophobic in the first place.
yeah. Oh, Bronk. I kind of had a parting of ways with Dave Scott too. I kind of did too. That's why I don't go over there too much to Dave's show. I listen sometimes because he has good guests, and he does good work. But I have to keep it at that now.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot of people like that I like their work. Don't really care to go with them one on one, but I like their work and I respect them for their work. So I don't blast nobody. He's not the only
Yeah.
one. Oh man, he is nowhere
Spaced
near the
Out
only.
Radio is a pretty interesting channel overall.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Talking about the movie, it was good. Yeah, not bad. Abyss was good. The ending was wild. Event Horizon was trippy as fuck. Yeah, it was. I need to. I haven't watched this one.
That
I
one I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen either.
Jupiter Ascending. I haven't seen that one yet. But okay, since it looks like we're not going to get a thank you, thanks, Bronk. Yeah, just talking about Dave Scott and the other people that you respect their work, but don't talk to them. Right? Enjoy their
Yeah,
work. They want to be a rock star. Let them be a rock star. Don't try to get to know them.
everyone has their personality, and they can have it. Not everybody's crazy about me either.
Or
So
me,
it's all
or
just fine.
me. A lot of people. I just said a few minutes ago there are people who they spend 5 minutes on me like I can't stand you. I'm out. Fuck you. And I'm like fine,
No,
whatever.
I have too.
Um,
I've had it happen to me on a show one time. And
yeah,
we were doing radio, and it actually was a guest, and we were asking questions and this guest just was not prepared for our audience or the type of questions we were asking. And I
mhm,
don't feel they were outrageous or anything like that. I'm not that kind of person. But I think it was something that he had not considered, and he maybe had a bad day. Who knows? People do.
well, Bronklander,
And like I said, he took off. He took off in the middle of this interview, and I plugged his book for him and made it available. His where he had it for sale and so forth, and just went from there. What could you do?
yeah. What's the point in being negative? Why slam
Uh,
someone? Hey, buy the book.
Hey, Storm saved the day that day. He had a guest in his show that day, and he said, "Hey, let's do a duel. What do you say?" I said, yeah, let's do it. And that was one of the best shows we had ever had. Absolutely top drawer.
Cool.
So there's no use having a bad day yourself over somebody else's.
Hmm. Well, Bronk is saying Jupiter ascending covers the multiple alien species. I'm not gonna. I want to see it. I'll check it out,
Oh
and
yeah, now I want to see it.
I'll check it out. Jupiter. It sounds good. I've heard things a little bit here and there. Sounds good. I'll check it out. Um, if you know where I can watch it, let me know. Like streaming service,
Yeah,
or do I got to buy a
you're on
DVD? That's
Prime or
fine.
what?
Either one.
Yeah.
Just let me know. But yeah, something I was waiting on Raven to come in, but the Crystal Healing Network and the Energy Network and sending yourself energy in the future. We talked about this behind the stage
Yeah, we were talking
shortly.
about
We and I was kind of hoping Raven would come in, but we're like we're an hour and 20 out of 2 hours already. So an hour and 20 minutes.
that.
So
Why
let's
don't we talk
go
about that a
into it.
little bit though?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's
it is.
just about the right amount of time.
Yeah, but I guess Raven's not showing up. That's okay. She's got lots of other things to do. I understand. She did have a link. Her link was sent to her. Okay, but I brought this up. I forget where in a show, in another show. There is a meditation that you can do, and it's the more discipline and the more programmer skill you seem to be. If you can think like that, like if then else suggestions, and it really helps when you have like a crystal network. Okay, now a lot of people. Let me just real quick, right? The crystal network. Okay, you
And
found it on
maybe
Apple TV.
simplify that a little because it sounds intimidating. It's
It's
really not.
it isn't right. I need to go over it and break it down. Okay, first of all, you don't need the crystals to do this, but it helps because it's like a prop for you to focus on. But the crystals do something. Okay, we are the quantum ones. They are the tools. The crystals are not alive unless you want them to be, but that's a whole nother thing, right? So at this point, I'm just using them as like routers, right? I really do think of them as routers. And anyone that you want on that network. Now, when I say network, there's the meditation that comes in. I I've got several people on this network. Most of my friends are on this network, and you're on it. Storm's on it. Keith's on it. Joe's on it. My friend Leslie's on it. Other people are on it, and they don't all have crystals, but they don't need them. I just make it easier on myself. And
Just waving to Chris. I need to take just a quick second to blow my nose because I've got allergies like mad.
yeah, I've been
I
okay. Go ahead.
You go ahead and talk because I'm listening.
Hey, Christine. Okay, I will go ahead. Now the way I'm using them is, it is a router computer. It is. It really is. I mean, when you're talking crystals, I got an amethyst on right now. It just helps me out a little bit. And it was a gift from uh uh Shingoji here in the show. He lives in Gatlinburg, near Gatlinburg. And okay, everyone is a node who wants to be a node, right? And now a node is a point in the network, is a recipient, a computer in the network. The crystals help me to visualize, and I send out, everybody gets healing energy. It started with Frank, and it goes to Frank. And I'm always sending it. He's in the network now, right? It's like a subnet, like a computer network. So, got that, right? So that's established. It is, and it's been working for about a year now, and I'm like amazed by it. So,
And it does work.
yeah, and it's
You know, you're on our uh, list too. You know, because we have one similar to it. And that's always every night. I mean, I pray in the morning, I pray at night because you wrap up and in the evening you open up in the daytime.
Right.
You focus on what it is you want to get accomplished. Thank the goddess for her, or the universe as you prefer to see them. But thank them for their participation in your life. Go on, and it's a 2 minute ritual.
Yeah. And exactly. It's a 2-minute ritual. My crystal network helps me so I don't have to keep repeating it. It remembers. I got to remember every now and again and strengthen the network, make sure the packets are correct and make sure the script is correct, right? It's very programmery, okay? Very programmery. And well, I've
A
used
lot
it
of that's how
yesterday,
your mind works, so
right? And it sends it out. But my machine is what helps me keep track of it. It is a memory device. It works. And oh, I need to do another crystal show, I guess. I need to go over these books with Raven. Raven's big on crystals too. But
I am too. I'm very much into them.
okay, well, I
Love it.
am I have not done that much with crystals yet. But I know that there is oh man. Anyway, getting back to this. The thing I want sending yourself energy in the future. Okay. Now, we go ahead and we look at time the way we look at time. Time is whatever you want it to be, okay? But you're going to be here tomorrow as well as you are here today. And when you do something like what I'm doing, you're it's a very multifaceted, okay? You're manifesting I'm going to survive till tomorrow first, okay? You're not going to leave yourself hanging. And first, you're manifesting you will be alive tomorrow to receive this energy. But
Yeah.
my crystal network helps me to take this message of the meditation that I do. And I want to now I have what energy I have now. And if I lose a little bit right now, I'm not going to feel it because I'm constantly replenishing my energy with water, with coffee, with just being quantum, whatever, being human, having
Absolutely.
exercise. Right.
I absolutely love what Bronklander is saying. This is great. It's perfect.
Gratitude is like butter in the frying pan when you're cooking up a manifest breakfast. I love it. That's great.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes. Awesome.
That's perfect. Okay. Let me go along with this. So I'm kind of getting on a roll right now. And okay, you are first of all manifesting that you will survive till tomorrow or whenever you set this timer. You're setting a timer. You're telling your crystal network, hold this message until however you want to put it 5 hours, 10 hours, tomorrow, the next day, a week, a year. And first of all, you're manifesting that you will survive that long. We take that for granted sometimes. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm manifesting that I'm going to be here like tomorrow, the next day, 5 days, 10 days,
Yes.
a year. I'm going to be around to receive my message back, right? And then that crystal network, it is a computer. It will hold on to that message according to the instructions I give it to deliver this energy, which will save. Don't ask me where the database is. It's quantum. It really is. It's the Akashic records. It's the
Universe.
universe.
Yeah.
It's the earth. It's chakras across time. Okay, I don't know, but it's there.
It's programming your inner chakras as well
Right,
to respond to that message.
right. And this, you oh, that's part of the networking.
Yes.
You are part of the message. Your energetic imprint is part of what we would call in programming the header. It would
Uh-huh.
be in the header. Like I am here's a message for myself later. It's like leaving a sticky note for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Except on a quantum level, and you're sending it to yourself, but you're waiting. and you don't have to worry about it right now. You're sending your energy. I have the energy. I have the energy right now. So I'm going to put some of it into the network for tomorrow, 5 years, 5 days, whatever,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
today, okay, yesterday, or rather earlier today, right? I said, okay, Crystal Network, and I just calm myself, focus myself, and says, in 5 hours, give me energy. And I had the craziest dream, and I woke up so well. I woke up well, and I had that energy. And
That's good.
I have, and I was able to get stuff. I went to the car and I put that new filter in. There wasn't much, but I didn't need to do much. I still needed, so, and it's not a science. I have to figure out how to do this more. Maybe I need to write a letter or figure out a message format for myself, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the Crystal Network if I don't do it psychically, quantum entanglement when I'm using paper, right?
I-
It's this whole another thing too. This is not easy stuff. If it was easy, it would be on another show. Okay?
No, darling, it is. It's very easy.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
just
it is
isn't
easy.
simple.
It really is.
It's
Contradiction right here on the Quantum Show. You heard it.
quantum. It's both. It honest. Here we are. Okay, we'll get our tone down a little bit so we don't blow people up. But our our biggest thing with this thing is doubting our own ability. Our ability is there. We were born with it. And out it's from the first of us to the least of us. Uh, I'd like to tell a story on this very thing. Precisely what you were doing right now. 15 years ago, I got hit with some of the worst news a person can get hit with. That lovely will make you comfortable speech. Know what I'm talking about. To put your affairs in order, you're checking out. And I went home. I was distressed, of course. And I went to bedroom and I thought things over and I just put it out there. I said, lady, I've been with you for many, many years now. And I've been with you too, Lord. And you know what? This doesn't matter to me. I'm going to continue to serve. Every day of my life, I'm going to give you thanks. And I'm going to go to bed with my mind clear. And I started working with crystals just as you started to learn to do. And one of the first ones that I started working with was the clear crystal, and it really should be the real McCoy. Very simple to tell how, and then we'll just quick say, flash a, a laser pointer through it. And if it's dancing in there, it's a real thing. And if it's just kind of hanging there like yes, so, it's not. And that works on most clear crystal. But I started working with those and doing just what Nathan's talking about. Program that thing and say, take this message to God, or send this love to this person. They need it. Because I had been serving ahead of that, but I really stepped my game up. I put it in full gear. If I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out for a reason. I started, most you yell about people burning the candle at midnight. Well, I would set off both ends of that thing and fire it up in the middle. Hey, I got nothing to lose. And there is one of the secrets right there. I have nothing to lose. I'm as big and hollow and spar when I leave this realm as I am this moment. Once we realize that, there's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing in the world to be afraid of. Whether it's chemo treatments or breathing treatments or what have you. Okay, we go through them. Screw it. Go home and serve God some more. Or serve the universe. To serve our understanding of it. And that is one of the ways that you manifest. Say the heck with this. I'm going to live my life like there is no tomorrow. Now you can throw that energy towards your tomorrow person, and I have done that, and apparently Nathan's figured this out too. And that tomorrow energy, say you wake up and oh my gosh, you feel like hell. And I've had plenty of days when that is. And reach out and say, I have got to get my act together. And that energy is sitting there waiting on you. You pull it and you thank God for it and it manifests some more. And pretty soon you're up, you're dressed, you're ready to go. There you go. But that
Yep.
little crystal is something for us to focus on, as Nathan said, and throw that energy in there so that you hold on to it and pick it back up when you need it most.
Yeah, and it is an earth element, so it is not, and it can handle a lot of energy, and it is literally timeless. It's going to be here, it's going to be there, it's going to be back then. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how to reach into the past. We'll see. It's energy, not me going back to the future. It's me going back to the past via the crystal because the crystal has been here for millions of years. I would
I'll give
like
you
to
a
know
secret
more.
on that one. I can give you a secret
Hmm.
for that one.
Go
When you
ahead.
feel like you haven't done as well as you might have, and we all have those moments, and you take that crystal and you look at it and say, remind me of the thing that I said I was going to do. Because somewhere I've missed the mark and I need to see it.
Hmm.
Don't insist on it being that moment in a blinding flash of light. That's not going to happen. But what will happen is you'll wake up the next morning, and if it's there, that's good. If it's not there, look at your crystal and say, I'm still waiting for your answer. You know, ask your prayer, you know, I'm still waiting for your answer. Show me what I have messed up on so that I can do better. Or if I need to draw upon my experience and I don't quite see it, no, because it's there for you. It's right there in your little computer, right there.
I will check. I will think about that. I have to understand it on my own terms. You're
Oh, of
clear.
course.
You're being clear. You're being concise. I have to understand it on my own terms. I'll think about that.
Experiment with it.
I will.
Play with it a little bit. See if some of those answers that you're looking for from the past, because we we can often look at that and say, okay, where did I mess up? What caused me to mess up? I had a falling out with a friend not too long ago, and they said, you know, things weren't the way they thought they should be. And I needed to look at my own responses to it, and they weren't good. They were bad responses.
Mm.
And I thought, where did that come from? Because that's not usually who I am. And I found it. I found it just as surely, and it was going back more than 50 years. And it
Mm.
was sitting in a time I was still stuttering very badly. And I realized I hadn't said a word in 2 years that could be understood. How about that? That's where it came from. And I realized in my haste to get some of the things that I need to communicate out, I wasn't being thoughtful. Simple as that.
Okay. I will need to think about that. I'm glad it's on the show here so I can go back and listen again.
Mm.
You let that.
It wasn't a good
Okay.
thing, but it was something I could go think about and say, where is that coming from?
Hmm.
Darndest things happen in our childhood we don't realize where they came.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes along with uh well, I'm branching off to a bunch of stuff. Shadow work, spirit journeys,
Okay,
uh,
sure.
define figuring out how did I get this way? Where does this come from? And
But
uh
your guide will tell you, guide will show you if you're open to the experience. And we're not talking about something that's easy to look at because this sure isn't.
mm-mm,
Some of those are very painful to look at. But once you realize that it can't hurt you anymore, just take the experience and walk away from it because you can.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I have learned this, and my guide has been very illuminating when it comes to this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
She's very good about that.
That's why she's here.
She's not nice about it, but she's
Oh,
not cruel. You
that's
know,
not her job to be nice.
right? But
It's
not
her job
cruel,
to show you.
right? She's not cruel about it. She doesn't beat me over the head with it. She
No,
just
they
said,
won't.
"Here you go. This is what you
You
wanted."
asked, here you go. Yeah. And you're
And
like, be careful what you ask for, eh?
hmm yeah,
But if you truly need it, and it's something that's going to elevate you and bring you closer to the excellence that the universe is asking for. And I didn't say perfection, folks. I said excellence. You know, then that little bit of pain is okay to have. Sort of like if you get a good inoculation or an antibiotic. Okay, it wasn't pleasant. Might be a little bit painful, but it's not horrible.
and it'll help you more later.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm I did that with this crystal network earlier today, and once it I don't know how else to say it. Once it kicked in, I was like, "Let's do this," and I was like, "Wow!" And I
Yeah.
was tired today. Like I said in my first hour, I decided to take the day off until that happened, and
Yeah.
I just was like, "All right." And I'm trying to think of programming tricks that I can employ
There's,
using the
there's a
crystal network.
terrific amount of power in this. It's like, oh my gosh, terrific amount of power. You
Well, I'm
know, like I told you, I've done this now for 15 years every day. And I've had the strength to keep on going where others perished along the way. Same stuff.
yeah,
And have made a fairly decent dent in it.
yeah, Christine, thank you. I'm glad we can help.
Blessings to you,
Thank
Christine.
thank you. And I want all of this to help you. It's all about knowing you can, knowing it's there. I use it. I was having trouble with a topic for the show today, and I was like, "There's nothing new going on." But let me tell you about the now. Everything, all of this, that's the newest thing, and it worked. But let me tell you about the now, and it's like I went to the cemetery. I talked to my spirit guide, the guy at the food place, uh, driving, the gas station, all of it, right? Every bit of it. And it's all, I mean, it's like, it's not new and exciting, but it's the weird now. And it's not weird. It's just the now. And I see it. And apparently I'm able to comprehend it and observe it and notice it. And that friend of mine at the Legion says, I can't believe all this stuff is happening to you. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's happening to you too, but you just don't notice it because you're filtering it
Yeah.
out. We all
Yeah.
filter people who are not ready for it. I was talking to somebody else today
They
and
won't
said,
see it.
right,
It's not that they don't, it's they won't.
right. They are not on, they don't have the context, they don't have the experience, they can't, this is not for them, right? This is not for them. And the person says, "Oh, you call me stupid." I'm like, "No, you don't blame a fish for not being able to climb a tree. They just are not ready for that yet." You
Yeah.
know, I'm not being mean, but it's not for you. You know, it's just not for you. You are not able for energy and awareness and knowing how people get under your skin affects you and you affect them, and it's a
Uh,
get they're not ready for that, right? They're just not ready to hear all that. They're ready to go be muggles, shop at the mall, and watch the daytime news. That's what they're ready for. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying
yeah.
that's their situation.
Anybody who wants something more has only to reach out and grasp it. That's all it takes. A willingness to listen to others who've already been on the path. Uh, and I don't mean listen to them arbitrarily. I mean listen, and if it cords with your heart and your mind, your spirit, then it's the right thing for you.
And you
If
know
it
what?
doesn't, bless them for their work and move on. It's
Yeah.
that simple.
And I don't say take my word for it. Put it to the test.
Yes.
Chop it
Oh,
up,
yes.
see what comes out. If Put it to the test. Put all this stuff to the test. You know? And right. Christine's over here talking still in the chat room with us. But
Yeah.
the gratitude, oh, she says, okay, I'll push them both up. I just don't use my crystals. I need to. They just sit here on my table. Use them. They're there. Let them help you. Let them be there for you. And
Yeah.
then, but the gratitude and the daily gratitude, sending love to others, is something I try to do when I think of it. Write yourself a note on the fridge.
Sure.
Put it on the fridge
And
for yourself. Every time you walk by, you're subconsciously gonna be now this is using your muggle meat right here, right? You're gonna see
mhm,
that and some part of you is gonna go, "Up, yep, I'm gonna remember that." And you're constantly reminded. It doesn't become background noise. You put it right there in the middle of your fridge with a magnet. I got
you've got.
I got stuff on my fridge right now that
Mhm,
I keep myself looking. I go to the kitchen all the time for whatever reason, and it's there on the fridge. And even though I'm not consciously thinking about it, boom, it's right there.
yeah.
And subconsciously, some part of my quantum self is going, "Oh, let's do that again right now," and it does it.
And there you are. You still have your crystals. Pick it up and look at it and say, I want to send my friends and family and those that I care for this, to know that I love them and I bless them. Simple, very
Or
simple.
write it
And
on a sticky
hold
note.
it in your hand and program that crystal to remind you to ask for that daily, twice a day, however you like to do it, you know. But the note thing, that's perfect, that's great. But if you want to really start sharpening up your game on that, start using your crystal. It is that simple to begin doing that.
Meditate,
Yeah.
calm, take your crystal, hold it in either hand, both hands, whatever you like. Keep it in your pocket, whatever. Have a feel of its presence and just sit there with it calmly and just let it do its thing. It will.
Mhm.
It just will. You turn on your computer, operating system takes over. It's going to do its thing. Same deal. It's going to do its thing. This stuff.
You know, and you can gift those. I mean, it's not like they cost a fortune. Most of the time, they don't.
Now you can even get them
And
on Timu.
oh God,
Oh
yes.
my God. You can get them on Timu nowadays, and they're super cheap.
I know, sir. I've bought the strangest things on Temu.
Yeah.
range uh for the electric stove, the burners. I bought a set of those. Those things work wonderful. But it with that sort of thing, you can pick up a crystal and send it love and light, and the ability to bless someone else with that, to warm their heart, make them feel a little better, maybe open their eyes to a little more, and then hand it to them. Now, if they're tuned that way in the first place, the first thing they will do is take that crystal and bring it to their heart.
Yep.
Right on the spot, they will. If it doesn't mean very much to them, they may hold it in hand. If they're not ready for it, it'll go away. It just will, because they're simply not ready.
Mm-hmm. Christina's asking, do you guys use things like Palo Santo? I don't know what that is, or
No.
oils and sage. Sage,
Oils and shades, yes.
sage. Right, I got it
don't
right
know
here
Palo
at hand.
Santo.
I don't know what that
the
is.
Palo.
I don't know what that is. Do I need to know?
Maybe.
Palo Santo? I don't know what that
I'm
is.
not. Think it is an incense of some sort. It's
Let me see.
one of the old happies. Okay, it's a piece of wood you burn, blow it out, smoke is like sage. There you go. Do we use those sorts of things? Absolutely. You got a bad vibe going in your house?
Sage.
Sage.
Yep.
If you're not allergic to it, because like with me, I can't burn things here most of the time. But
Yeah.
you can also uh, there are different incenses for different things you want to accomplish. There are different essential oils as well. I have lovely, lovely scented oil that I burn back and forth, particularly if I need to meditate. And that actually kind of helps achieve that. And
Yeah.
some people really gravitate towards dragon's blood, or even, and that is an incense. That's not going
Frankincense.
after some creature. No,
Yeah,
it's
frankincense.
actually an incense.
Right, dragon's blood.
It also can be a scented oil, or any things of that nature. Some it's actually put in perfume quite often. Sandalwood is one of my favorites. There is an incense called Spirit that is lovely, and it brings happiness and joy to your heart.
Yeah, this
And
is okay.
odor does.
This is kitchen witchery. Here's if you got a bad vibe sitting around somewhere and you don't have any of these weird things. Okay, first of all, they're easy. It's like literally Dollar Tree stuff. But they're witchy. So if you got bad vibes hanging around a place, like we had a situation. It was brought home. It was bad vibes. It was totally like a mental thing, but it became what kid was calling a crawler. It was a bad. It wasn't conscious. It was just a pack of anger and frustration and all the bad things
Yeah,
in a ball.
threatening to manifest.
Right, and it was making
Yeah.
everybody edgy and angry and pissy with each other. So here's what kitchen witchery I did. And I've talked about this before. Okay. I took a soda can, which is made of aluminum, and I cut it in half, and I blunted the edge so I wouldn't get cut on it, and I poured vinegar and salt in it, mixed it up, and set it on top of something, right? Now, the actual kitchen witchery spell says use a pie pan, but it's windy. It was windy in El Paso. Pie pans blow all the way around. So I needed
Yeah,
something
even
to
in the
look,
house sometimes.
yeah, and like you open the door and everything blows around. So I needed something that was not so easily manipulated by the wind. Half a
Yeah,
Coke
well, you're
can.
gonna get knocked over or some other mess, you know?
Yeah, it was half a Coke can, and I blunted the edge around, and I put salt, vinegar, put it on top of something not right next to the door, and it just did its thing. It's a
Yeah.
vibe cleanser, right? That's kitchen
Mhm.
witchery. And I didn't burn nothing. I didn't buy nothing other than buying salt and vinegar, which I had in the kitchen anyway.
No, and
Kitchen
you
witchery,
blessed it with intention to unload the thing.
yeah. And it cleared it out. It was like um what's that stuff you like for mosquitoes?
Oh,
But it's
gosh,
citronella.
what's it? Citronella. Yeah,
Citronella, it's
yeah.
like a citronella candle for ghosts, okay?
Oh,
Except
it'll
no
unload
fire.
a ghost or a spirit too.
Right. No fire, no chemicals other than salt, table salt, and
Mhm.
vinegar, and in an aluminum container. The aluminum is important, okay? The aluminum is the metal container, and it's kind of like vibrates out, okay?
Yeah.
It's kind of like an antenna. So that's what I did. You didn't burn nothing, you didn't buy nothing, you don't get burned at the stake, you don't get accused of witchcraft or nothing. You just have, and you know what it smells like? You occasionally get a whiff of ketchup and vinegar, ketchup and mustard. Sometimes.
Mhm.
Very like, is that
It's,
ketchup?
yeah,
Is that
it's
mustard?
cleansing.
Don't know.
One of the things about vinegar is it's an all cleanser. Okay, it's
Mhm.
what was used before there was such thing as bleach,
Mhm.
soap
You know
even, I
what?
believe.
Church lady had me doing her windows. I told this one before. You remember this one?
Mhm.
Church lady
I
had me.
don't, but I could vibe with it.
I bring my bucket of window stuff, which is Windex, okay? And
Uh-huh.
she goes, "Oh, Nathan, hold on. Let me mix up what I want you." It was vinegar. And I'm like, "Wait a minute. I know what this is, church lady. You're not fooling anybody. That's witchcraft." You're I was cleaning the windows with vinegar.
Yeah.
Windows with vinegar. That is a cleanser and a ward at the same time.
Did she salt it?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. It's
Salt
a
is a purifier.
cleanser in water, and she had me take up a bucket that she's had forever, right? It's a plastic ice cream bucket. I don't mind it, it's fine. But had me go up with a bucket of this salt, vinegar, water. That's witchcraft. Okay. That is totally straight. I'm like, wait a minute, church lady. I know what
She,
this is.
she,
You're not
she an old
fooling
German
anybody.
lady.
Yeah.
She an
Um,
old German lady.
I don't know, but
I'll
she
bet.
knows what's up. She
That's
knows what's
powwow.
up.
That's what it's called.
She knows
That's a
what.
type of, yeah. It's a
And I was
type
like,
of craft.
mhm, mhm. It's kitchen witchery, and
Hmm.
they just don't call it that. They call it old school.
Well, it just cleans windows so well, especially if you use newspaper,
Yeah, and it keeps
and
them
it
clean.
does
Oh,
clean.
it keeps all the baddies out too.
Yes.
Because a window is by its nature is a portal. It's a window. Look at your computer. It's a window. Huh, it's a
Hmm.
window. We even call it Windows XP, Windows 95, Windows 10,
It's a
whatever.
portal to the outside world.
Right.
But when you're
Huh.
doing these things, and whether she did them or not, that some of that's lost to time.
Mhm.
You're supposed to bless whatever it is that you're after. She
Mhm.
didn't want dirty windows. She didn't want gnats. She didn't want wigs or any of that.
So
And,
or
so she
ghosts or
called it out.
spirits or bad
She didn't
people.
want untoward spirits.
Right.
or
So she
bad
had me
people.
wash her windows with holy water.
Did she have you
I
do the
It was
front yard? She have you do the front first?
all the windows, and
Uh-huh.
it was like,
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, you don't have to scrub too hard with this." I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. I know what you're doing here. I know exactly what this is. You're not fooling me." You know? Well, she wasn't trying to fool anybody. She just says, "I'm
No,
paying
she's
you to do this, and you're gonna
that's
do it
how
this
I
way."
want it. Yeah.
Right. So,
And
okay.
Roselander's right. Rowan will do that. But so will a common rose bush.
Yeah.
You
And
know, it's all in the intention, folks. Every
mm,
bit of it.
yeah, and for not having a topic, we did pretty damn good today, didn't we?
Well, these are simple kitchen witching that
Yeah.
isn't going to offend your religion, isn't going to offend your pastor seeing it
Right.
or any of that.
Yeah, it's just a
No.
little you could say it's just quirkiness with the
Hmm.
half a Diet Coke can, salt and vinegar. It's just a little bit of weirdness. It's like a weird incense the grandmother taught her. Uh-huh. I knew what
Well,
was
yeah,
up.
she probably did learn it at her grandmother's knee. I did.
Oh,
I
she did.
learned a
I'm
lot of
sure she
stuff
did.
from her. I'll tell you what, too.
Mhm.
She was down on you. She knew how to do that too.
Yep, when she says kitchen witch and love it. Yep, for sure. For sure.
But a lot of we're talking about essential oil and incense.
Mhm.
But you go to your cupboard. Now, how do I get some prosperity going in this house? Let me take a look here. You pull out your herbs, and oh, there's some whole basil or some ground basil. It doesn't have to be whole by a long shot.
Basil.
Take that out. Salt. Uh, thyme. It's a good one. So is rosemary. Do you remember the old song, Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme? That is a
Yep, I remember
spell,
that.
friends and neighbors. And many of those herbs, and you can find a good bit of that in uh, folklore, in things like Silver Ravenwolf's powwow. There's also many good volumes from Scott Cunningham, absolute marvel at this, and some others. But you put that together and you're in your kitchen, right? Okay. Now you want a little bit of oil to put in your incense burner. So you take some carrying oil. Now carrying oil is nothing more than olive oil or sunflower seed oil. But the more pure the thing is, it seems to be the nicer smell it has. Throw that in your pan. Get your pan hot. Throw that basil in there. Throw your salt in there. Throw your other herbs that you've selected. And let them just cook for just a scant minute, maybe not even that, till you start smelling their fragrance start to fill your house. Take it off the heat, let it cool down, pour it into your saucer or a cleaned glass bottle. And you don't have to make an ungodly amount of this. That's not necessary. We're only talking about a few tablespoons. Then you have incense. And it'll be the most lovely stuff you ever hope for, because while you're doing that, you're blessing that incense and asking for it to bless your home with prosperity and peace, kindness to others, and uh, a peaceful home.
Mhm.
So there it is.
And also, let me bring this up. I want to just this is a meme, but it's a book and it's real. And the how to make pumpkin spice. It is a
Yeah.
protection spell.
Yes.
It's pumpkin spice, the same stuff that's in the creamer. Okay,
Mhm.
except it's probably better for you to make your own. Don't.
Uh,
Okay,
well, you
pumpkin.
know what's in it if you make it yourself.
Yeah, and it's cinnamon. I know you can't read it very well. Cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove, allspice. That's
Yeah.
a spell. That's
Beauty.
pumpkin spice.
All
Baboom.
of these things that are used for to make your house smell pretty, many of them have chemicals in there that are no good for you.
Right.
But
Yeah.
when you make it yourself and just give yourself permission to understand how to do this thing, if it smells like something's missing, add a little bit more of something else. Cinnamon. Cinnamon's a great one.
Yeah. Cinnamon's in there.
Yeah.
Um.
Cloves
But
also.
yeah.
And
Cinnamon,
if you
nutmeg.
really want some hey howdy going, throw some vanilla in there.
Mm-hmm.
And put
Okay.
a little behind your ears
Let me
because it
read
smells
this.
good.
Let me just read this out. The spell is called. The spell is called Pumpkin Lantern Protection Spell for Samhain Samhain. Right.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
a
So,
linguistic.
and yes.
Okay. Blended together of cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove, allspice. Blended together, these spices create a quick and active, powerful, protective field that not only repel negativity but attacks it before it can cross. Imagine it as a spiritual wall of protection with an electrical fence around it that zaps intruders so they are unable to attempt to scale the wall. That's the kind of energy this protection spice mix gives off. Yeah, and it tells you how to use it. You can put it in a
Hmm.
bowl, at the bottom of a candle, in a black cauldron, but you don't have to have a black cauldron, right?
No, not at
Coffee
all.
cup
Didn't
with
have
an
one for
alien.
years.
Yeah, coffee
I
cup with an
finally
alien.
broke down and got one. Oh, probably about 10 years ago, just for accoutrement.
Right.
You know,
Right, I hear
no,
you.
it is. But these little props and that are just part of the gag.
Yeah,
Part of the gig.
it
Hmm.
helps us to focus.
Yes.
It helps us to focus all the sense, the textures, the visuals, the touch of it. It helps us to focus. And
And open up that third eye.
right, because we are manifestors. We just are. And
Yes.
it just reminds us, it's those little helpful haha
We
sticky
almost
notes.
do it. We almost do it without thought. And really, as many people as come through here need a hand up or some way to keep themselves going. These are things that can do that.
Yeah, and then uh, okay. Everybody,
Mhm.
I'm gonna
We
have to
could have
wrap.
a
Huh?
yeah, we'd have a circus on this all night, couldn't we?
Yeah. It's been the 2 hours. We made it. We made the 2 hour mark. All right. I'm gonna be posting up a video soon about I walked around the cemetery
Oh yeah.
and I don't know. It wouldn't upload. It just would not upload. So I'm gonna just let it upload all night long. It was saying it was gonna take 16 hours to upload. I'm like, what? This is crazy. On and okay, I'm just gonna let it upload. Stay tuned, but
Yeah.
hey nerd,
Oh my.
I am oh nerd, you're coming in right at the very end. We've done talked
Yeah.
about crystal networking, energy displacement, putting it in the future, taking it from the past, sending it to the past, all that stuff. Hi Diane, we talked about charms and wards in the kitchen and how to wash your windows with witchcraft. And just all
Diane,
kinds of
there's some things there for you in there. So be sure to go back over the show if you didn't get it first time. That basil is part of a healing.
mm,
And for yourself, you want to add, I don't know precisely what the situation is, but a little bit of cinnamon would not hurt.
Yeah. And we're talking about all that stuff. We're talking about things we did not talk about is, well, that list is kind of short.
And we
um,
covered it all.
yeah, we covered a whole bunch tonight, including aliens. We did talk a little bit about aliens. Yeah, next nerd next week. But hey, the show is gonna be here. I'm not gonna take it down or depost it or anything. It'll be here. Just listen to it in the background while you're doing something else. Okay. All right.
And I would ask Christine, please, when you ask for vibes for me and love, be sure to ask for the universe's best use for me, because I would prefer to be doing that.
Okay. Christine says, I'll rewatch. Obi2 is saying, George's show. Thank you. Thank you for coming here and
Thank you.
allowing it to help you and allowing us to be the crazy people we are. And yeah, Diane, we all need this.
Thanks for your good questions, Tomato. We appreciate that you came in and asked those very poignant questions.
Right. And thank you, Renee. And Christine, that's okay. We went to it a little bit, just a little bit, not much. It was in relation to something else, so Renee, thanks. Thanks for making the quantum show what it is, everybody. And Christine, I'm going to leave it with this. No matter how small you think your kindness and love is, it resonates more than we can imagine. And that's the quantum show. Okay, we're out. We're going to start pushing buttons. Lynn, thanks for coming in. Joe's out there listening.
Pleasure.
He's going to be listening in the future. I know he's listening in the past. He's about as quantum.
Well, Joe.
Get better. And talk to y'all later. Keeping it quantum, pushing buttons. Pushing buttons.
Much love.
All